This product is not sponsored or endorsed by Kazuki Takahashi, Konami, 4Kids Entertainment, Upper Deck, or any other person or entity associated with any of the featured characters or game products. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a copyright and trademark of Kazuki Takahashi.
Your turn!
Welcome to the School of Duel. This is an unofficial, unlicensed video that demonstrates the art of dueling with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. After a brief introduction, we're going to show you an actual duel using starter decks.
This program is based on the Yugi and Kaiba starter decks.
The duel is between Ethan, an expert duelist, and his friend Bradley, who is a new duelist. After the duel, there will be a series of lessons to review what you saw in the duel. We don't expect that you will learn how to duel the first time you watch this video. So we encourage you to watch this video a few times until you feel confident about how to duel. At the end of the lessons, we will give you a list of the cards that were used in the duel and the order in which they were played, so you can play along the next time you watch the duel. This is only a demonstration. The official rules for dueling can be found in a starter deck. We now join Bradley and Ethan after a long day of school.
I'm sure glad that test's over.
Yeah, me too. Hey, what's all this?
It's the stuff from that yugioh card game I mentioned. Ever play?
Yeah, but I'm no good.
That's okay. I'll teach you.
Cool.
If you don't know how to play, a great way to learn is to use a starter deck. A starter deck comes with everything you need to play. 50 cards, a game mat, and instructions. These decks come with 50 cards. You need at least 40 to play. These are Ultra Pro deck protectors. They're great for protecting any kind of collectible card, especially the expensive ones or frequently played cards. It really saves them. Some of these cards are really valuable. I have one worth over $20. These Ultra Pro deck protectors will help keep them in mint condition.
Do the cards really age that fast?
Well, it depends on how often you play them. I play mine all the time. It protects them from dirt, dust, fingerprints, all that. They're also safe for the cards.
Why is that?
Let's just say that you don't have to worry about deterioration. It can mean the difference between a mint and a good condition card. So if you keep drooling all over that Wabaku card, at least put it in the protector first.
Oh, I was just reading the description.
Yeah, that's a cool card. You use it when you're attacked by a monster. It decreases the damage to 0.
Damage? Monster?
You'll see. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the basis of the game. A game is called a duel. A match is the best 2 out of 3 duels. You know how many points we start out with?
2,000?
Actually, it's 8,000.
8,000 points?
That's right. Using a starter deck, there are 2 ways to win. One is to get your opponent's life points down to 0. The other is if your opponent runs out of cards and is unable to draw during his draw phase.
So you win a duel by making your opponent's life points drop to 0?
That's right. And if both their life points hit 0 at the same time, well then it's a draw.
So what are all these cards?
There are 3 types of cards. Monster cards, magic cards, and trap cards.
Monster, magic, and trap.
Correct. This is the game mat. It has 5 monster card spaces and 5 magic and trap card spaces. You put your deck in the deck zone. The graveyard is where destroyed cards go. I'll explain the field card zone a little later. And don't worry about the fusion deck zone for now. It's not needed with the starter decks.
Okay, let's play.
First we shake hands. Sportsmanship. It's in the rules. We shuffle our decks. Now we put them both on the table. And we cut each other's decks. Have a coin?
To see who goes first?
Yeah. We flip for it at the beginning of the match. The winner chooses who goes first. After that, the loser of the duel decides who goes first next time. Call it.
Tails.
You win. So you pick who goes first.
I will. Now what?
There are several phases in a turn. The first phase is called a draw phase. You simply draw a card from the top of your deck. The second phase is the standby phase. Some cards have effects that are activated during a standby phase, but there aren't any of those cards in the starter decks, so you won't see any action during this phase in our duel. The last phase is called the end phase. This is where you make sure you have 6 or less cards in your hand. To start the duel, we both draw the top 5 cards of our deck. Since you decided to go first, draw a card. Don't tell me what it is.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Now it's your main phase 1.
What do I do?
Let's start off slow. The first thing you should do is put a monster in attack position. It's called a summon. To summon a monster, place it face up vertically on the monster card zone.
Okay, I summon my Celtic Guardian.
That's right. But the rules say you can't attack on the first turn. So you should just end your turn.
Okay, I end my turn.
I summon my Rogue Doll. Now I'm going to enter my battle phase. My Rogue Doll attacks your Celtic Guardian. To determine the outcome of this battle, we compare the attack points of both monsters. Since yours has an ATK of 1400 and mine has an ATK of 1600, my monster wins this battle. Your monster is destroyed, and since your monster was in attack position, you lose 200 life points, which is the difference between the monster's ATKs. So now you have 7,800 points. I end my turn.
I don't have any monsters with a higher attack than your Rogue Doll. So what do I do?
Read the text of your magic cards to see if they can help any of your monsters.
Oh, I see. I summon my Sorcerer of the Doomed, and I have the Book of Secret Arts to raise its attack.
Since that's a magic card, you play it in the magic and trap card zone. May I move your cards?
Go ahead.
This card is a magic equip card. It's kind of like adding a weapon. It increases the monster's power.
Oh, okay. Now I enter my battle phase, and my Sorcerer of the Doomed attacks your Rogue Doll.
Okay, so I have 7850. This is getting interesting. So that ends your turn?
Yeah, I end my turn.
I activate my magic card D-Spell, which destroys one magic card on the field. I choose your Book of Secret Arts and destroy it. And summon Urabe. In my battle phase, my Urabe attacks your Sorcerer of the Doomed. That ends my turn.
I want to play this magic card, Yami, so I guess I'll set it down in the magic and trap card zone.
Hang on. See this compass icon in the top right corner? Yami's a field magic card. This is a type of magic card that affects all monsters, mine and yours. It gets played in the field card zone.
Okay. Then I summon Baron of the Fiend Sword and go into my battle phase where I'll attack your Urabe. That ends my turn.
Nice job. I destroy your Baron of the Fiend Sword with my Magic Fissure card, which destroys the opponent's face-up monster with the lowest attack points. Now I summon my Kumari Dragon. Here's something new for you. You don't have any monsters on the field, so I can attack your life points directly. If I want, I can have a second main phase after my battle phase. I wouldn't normally tell you this, but I'm gonna set a trap card. Trap cards have to be set at least one turn before they are activated. I end my turn. You have 6250. Hello? It's my mom. Can you stay for dinner?
Sure.
It's fine. Okay. I'll see you then. Bye.
What are all these other cards?
There are lots of other cards besides the one in these starter decks. You get them from booster packs.
Booster packs?
Yeah, you buy booster packs to add more cards and customize your deck. Once you learn the game and buy some cards, you'll want to make a deck of your own too. And if there's a really cool card you gotta have, you can get it on eBay. Like, this one. My dad and I bought it a few days ago on eBay. You wouldn't believe how many cards they have.
Cool, I'll go on eBay with my dad later. So, where were we?
I just set a trap card in my main phase 2 and ended my turn. You're up.
I summon Mystic Clown. I enter my battle phase, and my Mystic Clown attacks your Kamari Dragon. Let's see if I get this right. Our monsters both have an attack of 1,500, but mine is a Fiend type, so it gets a 200-point boost from Yami. So I win this battle and destroy your monster.
Not so fast. What I just did was use my trap card that I said before. Trap cards can be played on your opponent's turns. This trap card, Reinforcements, raises my attack points by 500. So I win the battle. And you're down to 5950.
Now what?
Remember, you still have your main phase 2. Do you have any magic cards that can help you?
I get it. I'll play my last will card.
Good job. Since you just lost a monster and it's still your turn, use the last will and take a monster from your deck. Last will lets you do what is called a special summon. I haven't mentioned this yet, but when you put a monster on the field, you can set it down in defense mode also.
Should I?
Well, since the last will card says the card you pick has to have an attack of 1,500 or less, and I know that, you better look for a monster with a lot of defense points. When a monster is in defense mode, it's the defense points that count.
Alright, then I will set this monster in defense.
Now, if you set it in defense, you need to lay it down horizontally. Do you end your turn?
Yeah.
You just lost 800 points.
What?
This is Ukazi, a magic card that inflicts 800 points of direct damage.
Wow.
Still in my main phase, I summon my Battle Ox, and I begin my battle phase. My Battle Ox attacks your defense monster. Flip it over and let's see what it is.
Gotcha.
Yes, you did. I attacked with 1,700 points, but you had 2,000 defense points. Here's something new for you to learn. When I attack a monster in defense mode, we compare the attacker's attack points with the defender's defense points. When the attacking points are less, the attacker loses the difference.
And the monster's destroyed, right?
No. If I lose a battle to a monster in defense position, my monster is not destroyed, but I do lose the points. Got it?
Yeah.
Then I guess that ends my turn.
Okay, my turn now. Draw a card. And I summon Curse of Dragon.
Hang on a minute. See the 5 stars? That's a level 5 monster. If you summon a 5 or 6 star monster card, you need to give up one of your own monsters on the field. It's called a tribute summon.
Okay, I think I got that. So I'll put Giant Soldier of Stone in the graveyard as a tribute, and tribute summon my Curse of the Dragon. Now to my battle phase. My Curse of Dragon attacks your Battle Ox, and you lose 300 points. That ends my turn.
Good move. I summon Lejin, the mystical genie of the lamp, and equip it with dark energy. And check this out. The Yami card is still on the field, right? These 2 magic cards increase my monster's attack points by 500 to 2300, and I attack your Curse of the Dragon. Since Curse of the Dragon has 2000 attack points, you lose 300 life points and your monster is destroyed. Now, my Kamari Dragon attacks your life points directly. And that, my friend, ends my turn.
There sure is a lot of math in this game. What's the score now?
You've got 3,350 life points left, and I've still got 7,000.
Wow. Since you did this to me before, I'll try it out on you. I dispel your dark energy and remove your 300-point boost. I set this monster in defense mode and end my turn.
Okay, so you're starting to get it. I tribute summon Judgeman in attack mode. My Judgment attacks your face down card. Oh, so you set an effect monster on me. Where'd you learn that one?
I don't know. What did I do?
This monster card, Wall of Illusion, is an effect monster. It's a monster with some magic built in. The color's a little darker, and see here where it says effect? Right afterwards, it shows what it does. That's its effect.
What's the effect of this card?
It says that any monster attacking this card is immediately sent back to the owner's hand. Neat, eh?
Yeah.
But it still got destroyed because it lost the battle. See, when it's attacked, the effect happens first, then the battle. So you have no monsters left on the field. With the help of that Yami card, my Legion attacks your life points directly with 2,000 points. You're down to 1,350. And with that, I end my turn.
I think I got the hang of this. That ends my turn.
I summon my Ryukishin Powered. My Legion attacks your defense monster. Ouch.
Hang on. Let me see if I can figure out what happened here. Since your monster has 200 fewer attack points than my monster's defense points, and both monsters get the same 200-point effect from Yami, I win this battle and you lose 200 life points, but your monster stays on the field.
That's right. I attacked you, but didn't have enough points to win the battle. Since your monster was in defense position, my monster still stays on the field, but I lose the difference between my attack points and your defense points. That ends my turn. You're catching on quick.
Yeah, this is really starting to make sense to me. You're down to 6,800, by the way.
Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots.
What if I don't want to put any cards down? Can I just end my turn?
Yeah, you could do that.
Then I do.
I tribute summon my Judgeman, set this, and enter my battle phase. My Judgment attacks your Mystical Elf. My Judgment has 2,200 attack points. Your Mystical Elf only has 2,000, but Yami raises it by 200 to 2,200. So we tie.
A tie?
Yeah, I just did this to show you what happens in this situation. If a battle with a defense position monster ends in a tie, nothing happens. Nobody loses life points, and the monsters just stay where they are.
Got it.
I end my turn.
Let's see if I'm getting this right. I activate my Soul Exchange and tribute your Judgeman for my Summon Skull.
You got it. My Trap Hole card can destroy your monster right after a normal summon. Sorry to be so harsh, but that's how the game goes. What else you got?
Nothing. That ends my turn.
I end my turn.
I fissure your monster and end my turn.
I summon my Pale Beast and flip summon my Hain. A flip summon is when I flip my face down defense position monster to face up attack position. It's not a normal summon, and I can flip as many as I want or need in a turn, even if I also did a normal summon. My Hain has a flip effect that sends your Mystical Elf right back to your hand. You see, a flip effect can only happen when a monster is flipped from face down to face up. So if you want to use a flip effect, you have to set the monster with a flip effect face down in a previous turn. Now I'll enter my battle phase. My Pale Beast and Hane Hane both attack your life points directly. You lose the duel. That's a cool card. You use it when you're attacked by a monster. It decreases the damage to 0.
No, wait just a second. I activate my Wabaku and negate your attack.
Wow. Good move. I guess I end my turn. But what's going to save you next turn?
We'll see. I end my turn. What are you doing?
A monster can change its battle position once per turn.
Oh, I see.
I end my turn.
I reborn a monster. So let's see if I can get this right. I can pick any monster out of my graveyard and special summon it to the field.
Either graveyard.
Then can I see your graveyard?
Sure.
Okay, I special summon Skull. Finally, I get to a battle phase with this card. I attack your Pale Beast. Summon Skull has an attack of 2,500, plus 200 from Yami, since it's a Fiend-type monster. Your Pale Beast only has 1,500 attack points, so it is destroyed. You lose 1,200 life points. Big hit, right?
Yeah, I'm down to 5,600, but still doing fine.
That ends my turn.
Now this will level the playing field a little bit. This is a magic card called Dark Hole. It destroys all the monsters on both sides of the field.
Oh,
That ends my turn.
I end my turn.
Ends my turn.
Ends my turn.
Me too. You just lost 1,000 points. You're down to 350.
Wait, why?
My Just Desserts card. Take a look. You lose 500 life points for every monster you have on the field. So let's see. Your score is 350. Ouch.
Wow, I lost 1,000 points on my own turn? I better end my turn before I lose even more.
I draw and I end my turn.
I end my turn.
I summon my Lord of D and activate my Flute of Summoning Dragon, and I special summon my Blue Eyes White Dragon. Normally, I have to tribute 2 monsters if I want to summon a monster with 7 or more stars. But with these 2 cards, I can bring out my Blue Eyes without having to tribute anything. I now enter my battle phase. My Blue Eyes attacks your middle monster. Uh-oh. Maneater Bug has a flip effect that lets you destroy one of my monsters. Pick which one you'd like to destroy.
Well, obviously I'd pick your Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Actually, you can't pick that one. Lord of D's effect prevents any magic or effects from targeting a dragon-type monster. You have to destroy Lord of D first, before you can get to my Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay then, bye-bye Lord of D.
When a monster attacks a monster in defense position, and the attacking monster's attack points are higher than the defense monster's defense points, the defense monster is destroyed. But no points are lost. Okay, that ends my turn. Do you see the score? 5,600 to 350.
Let's see here. I think that I have a cool move of my own. My Trap Master destroys a trap card. Is that a trap card?
Yep.
That's a flip effect. I tribute summon my Dark Magician. And like you said, I have to tribute 2 monsters because it's a 7-star monster. I play Change of Heart and take control of your Blue Eyes White Dragon. That means your Blue Eyes is mine for this turn, right?
Right?
My Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician obliterate your life points directly with 5,500 damage to your life points. That takes you down to 100 points. Oh, but since Dark Magician is a spellcaster type monster, it gets another 200 attack points from Yami, and bam, that's game. You have 0 points. That was cool.
Well, that's the way I planned it. You just learned that in this game, any single move can turn the tables just like that.
You've just seen what a duel looks like. Hopefully, you have a better understanding of dueling. Now we'll go a bit more into detail of dueling with a few concepts that will get you dueling on your own in no time. These concepts will only cover playing with the Yugi and Kaiba starter decks. There are other cards that can make the game more interesting and fun, but also more complicated for a beginner to learn. We won't discuss those cards in this beginning video. Remember, this is only a demonstration. For official rules, please consult the rule book that comes with a starter deck.
A duel is played by two opponents called duelists. Each duelist has a deck of at least 40 cards. There are three main types of cards: monster, magic, and trap cards. The duelists play against each other by battling with their monster cards, activating magic cards, and setting traps for each other with trap cards. All cards have a name at the top. The easiest way to identify a monster card is by noticing its stars near the top right. All monsters have attack and defense points, which you can find at the bottom right, just below the monster's description. Some monster cards have some magic effects built in. Those are called effect monsters, and the description explains the monster's effect. There is a lot more to monster cards, but we'll explain all of that later. Magic cards are green. Just below the card's name it says Magic Card, and its magical effects are explained near the bottom. There are many different types of magic cards and other neat things to know. More about magic cards later. Trap cards are purple. Below their name it says Trap Card. Their effects are explained in the description. There are different types of trap cards, which we'll also explain later on. Each player starts a duel with 8,000 life points. With the starter decks, you win a duel when your opponent loses all his life points or cannot draw a card during his draw phase. The winner of 2 out of 3 duels wins a match. Duelists take turns in a duel, and each turn is made up of 6 phases. A duel is played on the game mat. Each player has his own. On each mat there are zones for each type of card. This is the deck zone. You place your deck of cards here, face down. Just ahead of the deck zone is the graveyard. Cards that are destroyed go here, face up. Here is the monster card zone. There are 5 spaces for up to 5 monsters. This is the magic and trap card zone, which also has 5 spaces. Both magic and trap cards can be played here. You can only play a maximum of 5 magic and trap cards at one time. Like the monster zone, if the magic and trap zone is full, you cannot play another magic or trap card until a space opens up. There is a special type of magic card called a field magic card. It is played in the field card zone. Fusion monsters are not in the starter decks, but they are placed in the fusion deck zone at the start of the duel. Each player's turn starts with a draw phase and ends with an end phase. As you'd expect during the draw phase, you draw a card from the top of your deck. At the end of your turn, you have your end phase. Simply make sure that you've got 6 or fewer cards in your hand. If you have more, then discard to your graveyard until you have only 6 cards. Then, end your turn by saying something like,
I end my turn.
Ends my turn.
Ends my turn.
Between the draw and end phases are 4 phases called the standby phase, main phase 1, battle phase, and main phase 2. There are some cards that specify an action during the standby phase. For example, a card may say, you gain or lose points during your own or your opponent's standby phase. There are no cards that deal with the standby phase in these starter decks, though, so we won't say much more about it. During main phase 1, you can put monsters on the field, change the position of your monsters that are already there from earlier turns, set or activate magic and trap cards. Basically, everything you need to do to prepare for battle. Your battle phase is optional. You don't have to have a battle phase, and you're not even allowed to have a battle phase during the first turn of the duel. But when you do have a battle phase, your monsters attack your opponent's monsters. We'll explain all about battles in just a little while. If you have a battle phase, you can have a second main phase if you want or need one. During your main phase 2, you can do anything you can do in a main phase 1. Just keep in mind that you can only normal summon or set one monster per turn. So if you did a normal summon or set in your main phase 1, you cannot have one in your main phase 2. You're probably wondering what normal summon and set mean. Monsters get from your hand to the field when you summon or set them. Think of the word summon as a call to the monster to show itself in the monster card zone. When you do a normal summon of a monster, you select it from your hand and place it on any available space in the monster card zone. It is placed face up and vertical like this. This vertical face-up position is called attack position. Your monsters in attack position can attack during your battle phase. To set a monster, select it from your hand and place it face down and horizontally in any available space on the monster card zone. This horizontal face-down position is called defense position. Monsters in defense position cannot attack. Sometimes a magic or trap card or an effect monster's effect will allow you to special summon a monster. A special summon is just like a regular summon, except there is no limit to how many special summons you can do in a turn. A special summon is a great way to get more than one monster on the field during a single turn. Some cards state the position that a monster being special summoned must be in, so read the special summon effect carefully. For example, this Monster Reborn card you saw played in the duel states attack or face-up defense position. So if you set a monster in defense using Monster Reborn, it has to be set face up. If you've set a monster in a previous turn and it's still in face-down defense position, you can flip it to face-up attack position during one of your own main phases. Flipping the monster in this way is called a flip summon. A flip summon is not a normal summon, so you can flip summon as many face-down monsters during a turn as you had on the field to start the turn. A flip summon is not considered a special summon either. If you start a turn with a monster in attack position, you can switch it to the defense position in one of your main phases. You can also switch a face-up monster in defense position to attack position. Notice that when you move the monster to defense position, it stays face up. You can only change the position of a monster once per turn. So if you change the position of a monster during a turn, you cannot change its position again in the same turn. Also, you cannot change the position of a monster that has attacked during that turn. If you set a monster in face-down defense position, and your opponent attacks that monster, it gets flipped to face-up defense position. This type of flip is not a flip summon. Flip effects are activated when you flip a monster in response to an attack. Some monsters have magic built in. This type of magical monster is called an effect monster. The effect is written in the monster's description, and the cause of the effect is described there as well. This card is Man-Eater Bug. It has a flip effect. A flip effect is activated when the card is flipped, either as a flip summon or when it's attacked while in face-down defense position. Man-Eater Bug's effect is that it destroys one monster on the field regardless of its position. In battle, the flip effect occurs before battle damage. So, if your Mystic Clown attacks a face-down Man-Eater Bug is flipped during the battle, and its effect is activated. It can be used to destroy Mystic Clown. Then, you calculate the battle damage, and the Man-Eater Bug gets destroyed by Mystic Clown's attack. You see? Even though a monster's effect can be used to destroy the monster attacking it, the battle still goes through and battle damage is calculated as normal. Other monsters' effects might be triggered by other things, like this Wall of Illusion card. If it gets attacked, the attacking monster is sent back to the owner's hand. Read your effect monster cards to learn about their effects and how they're activated. All monster cards have levels, indicated by the number of stars at the top of the card. Monsters with less than 5 stars, in other words, level 4 and lower monsters, can be summoned or set any time you're allowed to perform a normal summon or set. But monsters with 5 or more stars have a special rule. In order to normal summon or set these higher level monsters, you must pay a tribute of 1 or 2 monsters. This means you have to destroy 1 or 2 of your own monsters already on the field and place it in the graveyard. A monster that is level 5 or 6 requires a tribute of 1 monster, while a monster with 7 or more stars requires a tribute of 2 monsters. In addition to its level, monsters are different in other ways, too. Each monster has a type, such as the spellcaster and dragon types you saw in the duel, and an attribute like light or dark. There are magic cards, trap cards, and effect monsters that have effects which only work on monsters of a certain type or with a certain attribute. There are 20 monster types in all: dragon, spellcaster, zombie, warrior, beast warrior, beast, winged beast, fiend, fairy, insect, dinosaur, reptile, fish, sea serpent, machine, thunder, aqua, pyro, rock, and plant. There are 6 monster attributes in all: earth, water, fire, wind, light, and dark. You've learned how to summon and set monsters, and even tribute them to get some very powerful monsters on the field. What do you do next? Attack! In order to attack with a monster, your monster needs to be in attack position. When attacking an opponent's monster, indicate which monster you are attacking with and which of your opponent's monsters you are attacking. Like this.
My Curse of Dragon attacks your Battle Ox.
Each of your monsters can attack only once per turn. The battle damage is calculated differently depending on whether the monster being attacked is in attack or defense position. If you attack a monster that is in attack position, you compare your monster's attack or ATK points to your opponent's monster's ATK points. There are 3 possibilities. Your monster's ATK points may be higher, lower, or equal to your opponent's monster's ATK points. If your monster's ATK points are higher than your opponent's monster's ATK points, your opponent loses the difference and his monster is destroyed and goes to the graveyard. If your monster's ATK points are lower than your opponent's monster's ATK points, you lose the difference and your monster is destroyed. If your monster's ATK points are equal to your opponent's monster's ATK points, no points are lost and both monsters are destroyed. If you attack a monster that is in defense position, you compare your monster's ATK points to your opponent's monster's defense or DEF points. Once again, there are three possibilities. Your monster's ATK points may be higher, lower, or equal to your opponent's monster's DEF points. If your monster's ATK points are higher than your opponent's monster's DEF points, your opponent's monster is destroyed and goes to the graveyard, but your opponent does not lose any life points. If your monster's ATK points are lower than your opponent's monster's DEF points, you lose the difference, but your monster is not destroyed. If your monster's ATK points are equal to your opponent's monster's DEF points, no life points are lost and no monsters are destroyed. Magic cards are powerful ways to disrupt your opponent's game, give your monsters an advantage, and attack your opponent's life points directly. Magic cards are green and say magic at the top. The magical effect is explained in the description. Magic cards that you find in the starter decks can only be activated during a main phase. There are 6 types of magic cards: normal, equip, field, continuous, quick play, and ritual. Continuous, quick play, and ritual magic cards are not found in the starter decks and will be described in future videos. Normal magic cards are placed on the field in the magic and trap card zone. When normal magic cards are played face up, their effect is activated, and then they are destroyed and sent to the graveyard. You can also set a magic card face down during a main phase and activate it later in another main phase by flipping it face up. Equip magic cards are used to change the strength of monsters. They have an equip icon that looks like a shield next to the word magic. You play them on your own magic and trap card zone, even if you are equipping an opponent's monster. When you activate an equip magic card, indicate to your opponent which monster is being equipped. In many cases, an equip magic card only works with certain types of monsters. For example, this Dark Energy card can only equip Fiend-type monsters, like Lajin the Mystical Genie of the Lamp. However, it won't work on Neo the Magic Swordsman, which is a Spellcaster-type monster. Once activated, an equip magic card stays on the field and its effect remains until either the monster or the magic card are destroyed. Field magic cards are played face up in the field card zone and are not counted in the magic and trap card zone's 5-card limit. They affect monsters on both sides of the field, but they are limited to only a certain type or attribute of monster as indicated in the description. This Yami card adds 200 attack and defense points to Spellcaster and Fiend-type monsters. It also decreases the attack and defense of Fairy-type monsters by 200 points. Only one field magic card may be played at a time by either duelist. If you have Yami on the field and your opponent plays another field magic card, your Yami is destroyed. Trap cards are similar to magic cards, but like a real trap, a trap card has to be set before it can be activated. There are 3 types of trap cards: normal, continuous, and counter. Counter trap cards are not found in the starter decks and will be described in future videos. To set a trap, place it face down and vertical in the magic and trap card zone. It's ready to use in a later turn, but cannot be used in the turn in which it has been set. To activate a trap card, flip it from face down to face up. You can activate a trap card at any time during your or your opponent's turn, so long as the conditions in the trap's description have been met. For example, this Trap Hole card can only be activated after one of your opponent's monsters has been summoned, but not special summoned. There are only 2 types of trap cards in the starter decks: normal trap cards and continuous trap cards. Normal trap cards are destroyed immediately after they are activated. Continuous trap cards stay on the field and remain active until they are destroyed or removed according to the description of the card. Some magic and trap cards have an effect that gives you control of an opponent's monster. If you play one of these cards, such as this Change of Heart card, there are some special rules that apply. Your opponent's monster counts toward your 5-monster limit for as long as it is in your control. You must have space in your own monster card zone for your opponent's monster. Move the monster to your own monster card zone. If the monster you are taking control of is face down, you can choose to flip the monster to face-up attack position. If the card has a flip effect, the effect is activated as though you are the card's owner. Equip cards attached to the monster card stay in the original owner's magic and trap card zone and count towards the original owner's 5-card magic and trap card limit. Their effect goes with the monster, however. Once the card is on your side of the field, you can do anything with it that you would normally do, such as attack, defend, flip, or tribute. But when it's destroyed, it goes back to the original owner's graveyard. If the card is returned to your opponent at the end of your turn, it must remain in the battle position it was in during your end phase. As mentioned earlier, there's only so much you need to know when playing with just the cards from the starter decks. There's so much more to do and learn when you add other cards to your deck. Here's a list of more advanced topics which you can learn about in upcoming School of Duel videos. The Side Deck, Fusion Monsters, Exodia, Examples of Standby Phase, More Complex Battles, Advanced Battle Damage Calculations, Replays, Ritual Monsters, Ritual Magic Cards, Monster Tokens, Continuous Magic Cards, Quick Play Magic Cards, Counter Trap Cards, Continuous Trap Cards, Spell Speeds, Chains, Card Limits, Deck Construction Strategies, Specific Booster Series, Card Combination Strategies. Be sure to visit schoolofduel.com for updates, more information about our upcoming products and demonstration videos, to ask our dueling experts a question, or to just learn more about dueling. We'll see you there. But first, one more very important thing. This is a game of strategy, not a game of trickery or foul play. So, when you don't understand or know a rule, and if a rule book is not handy, you may want to consider that the most likely answer to your question is probably the one that is more fair and reasonable. Good sportsmanship is important in this game, just as it is in real life. Always let your opponent know what moves you are making in a loud and clear voice. You must ask permission before touching any of your opponent's cards on the field or in the graveyard. Your opponent is entitled to know the contents of your graveyard and the number of cards in your hand, and if your opponent asks about these things, you must answer honestly. Always start each duel with a handshake, and play the game so that at the end you've earned another one. Now, go duel! Special thanks to eBay, the world's online marketplace. From Ancient Elf to Yami, find the cards you need on eBay. Ghostmasters, the best and most authoritative Yu-Gi-Oh magazines. Pick one up wherever magazines are sold. Ultra Pro, the standard in safe storage. The #1 collectible accessory brand worldwide.
Your turn.